and in this video we're going to talk about Spring Boot profiles. So profiles is a concept which is introduced in Spring that is allows you to toggle the properties of your application based on different environments. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you've got some database connection properties here. Let's say for your dev environment you've got separate URL, and for UAT and prod it is different. So you want to deploy the same application but toggle the properties of this URL and the credentials. So that is typically achieved by using Spring profiling. Another way in which you can use Spring profiles is loading the beans conditionally. So what do I mean by that? So if you go to any bean here, let us just go for this one. So as you can see, this is like a Spring component. You can conditionally load it using @profile annotation, and you can specify what profile. Let's say when the profile is dev, you want to load this, right? Only when the profile is dev, not for any other way. But how do you tell your application which profile is supposed to be injected, right? So that is achieved typically using a command line flag, and you can find more about it here. So you pass this flag Spring profiles active and equal to whatever profile name you give, that will be injected. Typically, if you name a property file as application hyphen your profile, it automatically gets configured. So you have to follow this naming convention, application hyphen your profile name, and put it in the resources folder, and Spring will automatically load it for you. This also applies to tests, and this the way you can actually do that is, this is your Spring Boot IntelliJ project. Here you can see there's an active profiles option. This is very handy in IntelliJ. So you can just give the profile here and click apply and run, and that will actually load this property file for you and not the default application.properties. Right. So if you see, this is running on port 8030. This is application properties, and if you go to application hyphen local, this is 8082. So we expect this to be running on 8082. So let's just open the console and Control F. You just want to search for 8082. So you can see it has started on 8082. If you search for 8083, it's not going to be there because this is the Spring profiling in action. This also applies for test, like I said. So you just have one integration test here. In that test, it is your job to annotate it with the active profiles equal to local. You have to specify for the test also. This is a typical integration test. Here we can actually verify this by printing the database URL. So in my application local, we have this MySQL URL, right? In application properties, I have the H2. So if I run this Spring test, then I should see the MySQL URL getting printed. So we'll just check that. Yeah, and you can see print database URL. This is the MySQL URL. So this is how you can toggle your properties. It's a very handy feature. You can create separate files for UAT, prod, dev, etc. And you can not just the database properties, you can specify any type of property. Let's say there's some Liquibase, the password, the credentials are going to be different. This is again for the database, but if there are some like SMTP connection, some email server on prod, you have different. For UAT you have different, so you can specify that. Similarly, any external dependency like Kafka or RabbitMQ, you can specify the correct credentials as per the environment. So this is just a nutshell. In a nutshell, I just explained you what is Spring profiling. You can go to this page, and it's a very handy guide. You can read more about Spring profiles. So that is it for this video, and do share and like and subscribe. Yeah, thanks. Bye.